Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, morning headlines on October 13, 2023. Israel targets Hamas's labyrinth of tunnels under Gaza. BBC, Israel-Palestine war, should Israel fear Gaza's tunnels? WION fine print. WION, Gaza's underground labyrinth used by militants and civilians desperate to survive. Sky News, we know they're waiting for us. Gaza's tunnels pose deadly challenge for Israeli troops. CNBC, Israel-Palestine war, hospitals running out of beds in Gaza, WION fine print. Human rights experts warn against European crackdown on climate protesters. The Guardian, global, unfettered trade in law enforcement equipment fueling protest violations, new investigation. Amnesty International, how criminalization is being used to silence climate activists across the world. We don't deserve this, the desperate Gazan musician who has no electricity or water. Sky News, you don't get peace by deploying more tanks and planes, Palestinian man in Belfast on fears for loved ones. The Irish News, Israel-Gaza war, entire neighborhood leveled to ground, Palestine journalist. NDTV, Palestinians in Ireland fear for loved ones in Gaza. RTE.ie, I'm worried about the kids, Irishman in Palestine says everyone in Gaza is a target. US $6 billion deal with Iran under scrutiny in wake of Hamas attack on Israel. BBC, US and Qatar block Iran from $6 billion fund for prisoner swap. The Telegraph, US says it can deny Iran access to $6 billion in funds held in Qatar. Financial Times, US, Qatar agree to stop Iran from tapping $6 billion fund after Hamas attack. Researchers use AI to read word on ancient scroll burned by Vesuvius. The Guardian, researchers virtually unwrap ancient scrolls charred by Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. WION, AI reads first word of the Herculaneum scrolls thanks to 21-year-old. Business Insider, scrolls that survived Vesuvius divulge their first word. Ex-Hamas chief calls for day of protests by Muslims for Palestinians. The Independent, tensions simmer in Jordan after Hamas urges tribes to join Israel-Palestine war. Middle East Eye, Arab world expresses support for Gaza as Hamas-Israel war enters fifth day. Voice of America, VOA News, former Hamas leader calls for worldwide protests to support Palestinians. CBC.ca, former Hamas chief calls for protests, neighbors to join war against Israel. Pizza, plum cake and pickled red onion, how school lunches look across Europe. The Guardian, children should get one healthy school meal a day, say EU experts. Ukraine war, Russia attacks Avdiivka stronghold in eastern Ukraine. Climate expert, sacked, after refusing flight to Germany over carbon emissions. Treason, betrayal and grief in Ukrainian village devastated by Russian missile strike. The Guardian, Ukraine war, drone strike kills 4, NATO continues support for Kyiv. Euronews, Ukraine identifies all 59 people killed in missile strike on grocery store. Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, 4 members of the same family killed by a Russian missile in Rosa, northeast Ukraine. Guardian News, death toll from Rosa missile strike rises to 59, Ukraine says. France bans all pro-Palestinian demonstrations. BBC, French police use tear gas on pro-Palestinian protesters. The Times, France has banned pro-Palestinian protests and vowed to protect Jews from resurgent anti-Semitism. The Independent, France to ban all pro-Palestinian demonstrations amid rising anti-Semitic threat. Euractiv, France uses tear gas on banned pro-Palestinian rally as Macron calls for calm. Harvard's leading anti-Semites displayed on truck as backlash over letter grows. The Independent, Joe Malone's son linked to Harvard students' letter blaming Israel for Hamas barbarity. The Telegraph, top colleges' silence makes them complicit in anti-Semitic campus activism. The Hill, U.S. academic leaders must stop coddling genocidal hatred of Israel on campus. Steve Scalise drops out of U.S. Speaker race. BBC, Republican squabble about Speaker leaves Congress in limbo. Israel-Hamas war live, Palestinian death toll rises to more than 1,500 with more than 420,000 displaced in Gaza. The Guardian, the UN Relief and Works Agency, says Palestinians have sought refuge at dozens of schools in Gaza. Al Jazeera English, more than 423,000 people displaced in Gaza amid IDF counterstrikes. The Times of Israel, Israel-Hamas war live, Israeli military has told 1.1 million in Gaza to move further south in next 24 hours, UN quoted as saying. The Guardian, over 500,000 displaced in Gaza without humanitarian aid, ENAR, occupied Palestinian territory. Hamas and Israel at war, what we know on day 7. The Guardian, Palestinian death toll passes 1,500 as it happened. The Guardian, Israel-Hamas war, IDF troops mass at Gaza border as soldiers prepare for attack order. The Independent, Hamas attack on Israel was a slice of genocide, it's changed everything. Evening Standard, letters, Palestinians will continue to suffer under the rule of Hamas. Israel-Hamas war live, Israeli military has told 1.1 million in Gaza to move further south in next 24 hours, UN says. The Guardian, Israel's ultimatum to Hamas as Gaza pays price of war, no water tap will open until. Hindustan Times, Gaza residents told to move south as Israel prepares for expected ground assault. The Guardian, Israel tells over 1 million Gaza City residents to evacuate south. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.